Okay, how's everybody doing? Finally got down to recording this video, not because I didn't want to, but because getting the audio out of Reaper into OBS and capturing the screen and get the mouse and the thing, and it took a lot of time and it was really annoying. But I got it. I got it now. So for those of you who don't know what I'm doing in this little video that we're gonna be watching, is that I was talking with Noah, the developer for the mod Doki Doki Fallen Angel, which I am a composer for, and we thought that it would be an interesting idea if I did like a behind the scenes video of sorts, like trying to explain one of the pieces that I've done for the mod. So we put a poll on the Discord. You should join if you haven't joined already. A link in the description. and most votes, boom, there it is. Most votes went for Violet, which well, it's this little track that we see here. We're gonna be listening to some bits and pieces of the whole thing. But I really appreciate if you guys went out and checked out the video that has that song, and also went ahead and checked the other songs that the other two composers have written for this mod. Tom and Tendo, who are very talented as well, and very glad to have a chance to work with them. Looking forward to the full release. I have to admit, like, I can't wait for late November, December was like the idea. But yeah, I'm rambling. So I don't know. Let's like start. Like, let's listen to it just a little bit, just to get a lay of the land. Then it changes section. So I think I can talk over or what's left of the song, so that I can use it as a nice backdrop to like talk about a little bit about how, like, what this scene is supposed to be. For no spoilers. This is a spoiler free zone. I have no clue at what exactly will be going down in the scene. Thankfully, because I want to play the game in its complete form when it's ready, so I don't really know what happens. But Noah did tell me that it was sort of like a romantic scene, you know? I remember verbatim from the Discord channel that he said if I was down to writing some hot music, italics on hot, and of course then he elaborated that it was for a romantic scene, which then left me wondering, like, alright, so what do I do? I'm not sure if like the people that will be watching this little behind the scenes experience have seen the rest of my videos, but at least those who know me a bit better know that I'm actually a very hardcore metalhead edgy guy. Yeah, right. But I do like rock and heavy metal, so of course doing something a bit more tame gave me a lot to think about. First and foremost, like as a musician, and hang on, it's about to end. Okay, so as I was saying, as a musician, I learned to play guitar at school. Uh, my first 6 semesters at university, I also did them on guitar, so I kind of know my way around the six strings. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear the ambulance over there. The track was just so great that maybe somebody else out there had a heart attack, or who knows. So I was like, well, I got this new mic, this mic that I'm using to record my voice, the mic that we use to record our voices when we record any mod that we're playing with Roof. This little mic that I have in front of my face right now. I was thinking, well, what usually when I recorded stuff for school or on my own with my computer, what I did was just that I would plug my guitar into my interface and work from there. But I was like, what happens if I like use this little mic and used it to record from my acoustic guitar because I do have one. Um, and I figured that this could be a good chance to put it to a test, you know. So of course I knew that the mic was able to pick up the sound of the guitar quite decently. I had already done like a little cover of "Wish You Were Here" because of course I did, because everybody has to play "Wish You Were Here" once at least if they're playing a musical instrument, especially guitar. So so I did that. I'm not gonna show it right now, but I did that, and I saw like how I could move my way around recording the acoustic guitar. So everything you're hearing in the song, it's just layers upon layers of my acoustic guitar. So first, look at it. Let's look at it from like a horizontal perspective. You know, the song is basically like A B A structure. You know, there's like a chorus, like a weird verse kind of thing, and the chorus again. In terms of like the melodies that play, like you can tell that this first part and this second part are the same melodies, and like little intro and outros. So what I have here in this two channels, GTR of course stand for guitar, and basically it's a simple quote unquote trick. Uh, it's the exact same files. I literally just like went and took here, oh, and duplicated. I hit duplicate tracks and then boom. And with this little knobs here, I just panned them 100% to the left and 100% to the right. So of course, if I were to, for example, just listen to this first track, uh, if I am recording this in stereo, which I think I am, we should only listen to the guitar on the left. Oh wait, on the right. Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of weird, just on the right. So that's just to try and give it like a more surround sound, just to have it coming just as strong from left and right parts of your sound system, whether it's your a headset or speakers or whatever. It's something I do. I like doing it. Um, and on top of that, like the guitar has the usual stuff that you should have. I don't know how in depth you guys would have liked me to go on what every single little one of these things does. I'm gonna try to keep it very noob friendly because I am no expert myself. So it has again, the both guitars have the same effects. So it has a compressor which literally just like scrunches down the signal so that it doesn't clip, because of course since I was recording my acoustic guitar, like you can see that there's some parts of the wave that have higher amplitude than others, and that's usually and the idea it's usually to have them be around the same range. Fortunately, like nothing peaks too much, but it's always safe to try and compress it just a little bit. Then an EQ, I just cut down the high range of the signal because my mic was picking up some hiss from from the room, and like noise that came in from the outside because I don't have like any soundproofing on my room where I record. So it helped out like keeping all that weird hissing noise that the universe has at bay. And usually what you do with guitars is that you also cut down the low frequencies as well, just usually to give it more space on the lower end. a de-esser, which basically it's an effect that allows, well, what it does is that it sees at which points, like if I was recording my voice without my pop filter. Usually when you do some hard consonants like the P, like the B, like a T or an S, like that little like hiss that it comes with the with me making the consonant sound, this little thing picks it up and would take it out. But of course, this is not vocals. This is a guitar. What it does is still is that it lowers a little bit like the plucking of the strings, or maybe if I like hit the wood of the guitar without knowing, like when I was moving, and also it also helped me like take away from the noise again from the ambient and my surroundings, and also and weirdly enough of myself breathing. I'm gonna show you a little thing later, where you can actually kind of like, if you listen closely, you need to like listen to the song with some good headphones and like in a very considerable volume in this little first like quarter of the song. You can hear it's or either me breathing like, or like a motorbike or an ambulance just going past the distance. It's very faint, but you can hear it. And basically all of this is to try and mute that kind of stuff. This little thing here is called the Easy Mix. It's a program that has some presets that improve literally the way that you mix an instrument. I'm just using this preset acoustic guitar basic. So here goes with it, without it, just this guy. Again, remember, you're gonna come out just from the right speaker. So that's how it sounds without it. Let's put it like in another spot where it's a bit more noticeable. So it's a bit clangier, I would describe it. I hate using like those terms to describe music, but it kind of sounds like very bright, and it wasn't the sound that I wanted, and here it goes with it. It's very subtle, but it feels a bit more chunky, like it has a more bass. So I like that effect. And that goes in terms of the effects. Usually, if you can see, the lead guitars also have the same effects. I didn't compress the leads because I wanted them to stand out. So that's why this ones don't have. If they have a compressor, it isn't as aggressive as it is on the accompaniment. But anyway, so again, I don't know how technical you guys would have wanted me to go with this little behind the scenes deal, but the whole thing goes. The choruses are in the key of F sharp minor. The verse, this whole section here again, that's all B minor. And the ending goes back to F sharp minor. So usually, like the way that I decided to handle it was that again, we wanted a romantic kind of thing. I want something that was very kind of intimate, like something that you would I don't know, like I wanted people to imagine themselves like sitting like in front of like a chimney or a campfire with another person, like with their significant other, just like not even talking or like doing any kind of naughty stuff, just like sitting there enjoying each other's presence. Like it was kind of that intimate, like very, I don't know, sweet, you could say, vibe that I wanted to go with for those little piece. In terms of like a more direct like musical resources that I use it, well, in the first melody, at first in this little thing here, you can hear it. It's just natural harmonics on the guitar, which it just happens when you lay your finger. You're not pressing the fret. You're just laying it over it, and over certain frets of the guitar. The 12th, 7th, and 5th frets are usually the easiest to get out in terms of natural harmonics, and give this little like very ghostly sound. To just give it again like a very ghostly nature. That ghostliness that I also wanted to allude to it's more related to the actual character of Yuri. You remember the Ghost Under the Light poems. So this is like the main melody of the song. You can see it's split here because I recorded 2 takes, because this next take sounds a little bit different, just so that there's a bit more development and like it doesn't become too boring too quick. But the chords are always the same, so if any of you music enthusiasts out there wanna know the chords, it's D major, E major, and F sharp minor. Just that's it for the chorus. In terms of other influences, well, for this next section in B minor, actually this little melody that's gonna come in here, it's kind of it wasn't done on purpose, but it happens to me quite often that I start writing melodies and then it turns out that they sound kind of similar to other melodies that I've heard before, because they just leave a subconscious, I don't know, impact on me. So this first melody, it's kind of influenced on Judas Priest's Angel. It's on the same key, and it's a very similar, like, melodic movement. It's not identical. We're not gonna get sued. It's gonna be fine. But I don't know. It's a little bit of an Easter egg, if you will. Something that was very common for me, like, of course, I already had. I wrote this piece from left to right, so of course I was like, okay, so we're gonna have this melody. So I was like, okay, we need an intro, so we did this part here. And I was, okay, we need something different, so we did this little verse here. Then I asked myself, like, okay, where do we go now? Like, like Guns N' Roses, where do we go? Where do we go now? And my gut told me that we had to go back to this first melody here. But I didn't know how to do it. I mean, I didn't just want it to do like copy and paste, like this section over here. That would be lazy, and ain't nobody got time to be lazy. This has to be well done. So what I did is just that this little section here, I realized that everything was very, I don't know, like the music was flowing in a sense. Like it's music that it was never stopping. The chord, as you can see, like the takes from the guitar are always quite continuous. The music doesn't have any form of weird abrupt stops until in this section, because I thought it would be like a good idea to like call back the attention of the listener, to remind, like, okay guys, ready, here comes the chorus again. So it was at first this thing, and I was like, okay, kind of works, but I don't know what, I need something that introduces the melody again. So I was like, okay, so how would we do something extra up here? Like the rhythm guitar is gonna go up the scale, so let's have the lead go down. So together, solo, and something that is very, I don't know, it's not that it's cliche or that it's lazy or basic, but it's a common element in like music development, like when you're trying to keep sections interesting, when you're repeating stuff, is to add something different. Do the same thing but a little bit different. So in this case, like you can hear this melody is usually lying on a very, I don't know, I call it like a medium register on the guitar. It's not too high, not too low. It sits nice enough, but it's not done on the lower strings nor on the higher end of what the guitar can do. So I was like, okay, so let's play the same thing again. You're gonna, like, the melody still has to be the same, so here it is. There it is. And what I did to try and do something different was to layer another guitar on top of it that would be the same notes but played an octave higher. So it would sound like this. And with their power combines with the rhythmic guitar, it to me it has like quite a punch when you return from it. So let's hear just this little section of the verse, quote unquote, and to me it has like a very it thankfully has an emotional impact, or at least it does on me. Like this part is even more mellow than the regular chorus, and then like a bit of a build up, boom, and 2, 3, 4. So like the effect that it has on you is like, okay, I've heard this melody before. Like you don't need to know exactly which are the notes, but you know that you've heard this little motif before, this little melody here. But thanks to the octave, the layering of the same notes an octave higher, it sounds a bit different. It's you're like, okay, I've heard this before, but something's changed, and hopefully the next reaction is something's changed and I like it. But it'll be you guys who decide if you actually like it or not. And just to have a little bit of an outro, of course, so here goes. D major, E major, again with the harmonics, like to tie it all together, because we also something that was very interesting for me is this is my first time like composing for any form of video game or like audio visual interactive experience of sorts. Is that usually when you write a piece, you write a song or whatever, you know, it has an intro, it has a beginning, and it has an end. But in this case, it can't be too much of an end, like you know, like the end. They lived happily ever after. The end. The story has to be over. You can't have it be that way because you don't know how long the player will be on that scene where this song is going to be playing. So the song has to be able to loop back, start all over again, without it being too boring, without it feeling weird that it started again. I like the idea is not to have a feeling that okay, it's over, so we can go on with our lives now. Of course, you kind of have that feeling with this little outro here, but usually, like if I would have wanted to finish the song, to say it's in a more traditional sense, it would have been the D major here, the E major here, and we return to the root, F sharp Maynard, the singer of Tool, Maynard James Keenan. No, D major, E major, F sharp minor would be like the traditional way to end it if we wanted it to be like the end of the story. But since it loops back, I figured it would be better to not have the F sharp minor. So let's hear like if it was how it would sound if it was looped. So just the outro. And it goes back again. Which also explains the importance of it being a fade in, so that it's not. So it would be easier for Noah as a coder to just make sure that that Python would just loop the file forever and ever, as long as the scene was in place. What else can I tell you guys about the song? It's really kind of simple. It's not simple in a bad sense. It's just very to the point. Okay, so maybe some of you guys have noticed that there's even though there's no items on these tracks, on this track here, nor on this track down here, there's still the program still says that there's a sound, or you know, there's a signal coming out of them, and it's because I'm using them as a bus, as an auxiliary channel. Why? Because I wanted to give that sense of space. Usually when you imagine like imagine you're walking into like a giant, like a dark cave, you know, like you're in at the mouth of a cave, and you go like sup, and then you can hear like it's not echo because it's not the exact repetition of what you said, but you can feel that you can imagine it being like a wider space. where like sound can bounce off of a lot of walls. That phenomenon is known as reverberation, which is what I wanted to give both the rhythm guitar and the lead guitar, so that it wouldn't feel like a guy playing guitar in his house at 11 in the at 11 p.m. And instead it would sound like something again more akin to like a fireplace, a campfire, something like that. And part of that effect is also done by having this reverb. So let's mute it so that we can hear how it works without. So let's go to the main melody. So it goes without reverb. It doesn't sound like the sound is going too far away. Again, it sounds just like it doesn't literally sound like a guy in his room, but it does sound like it's very close to you in a kind of uncomfortable way. Instead, if we gave it a little bit of a reverb, it sounds a bit more open. And of course, the effects that I have here, it's just reverbs, usual reverb. I don't know how to speak. Of course, yeah, if anyone of you guys doesn't know, this program that I'm using is called Reaper. And the cool thing about Reaper, there's a lot of cool things about Reaper, but first off, one is that it's free. Like, I haven't paid a dime for any of the plugins you see here except EasyMix. All of them, like all the compressors, EQ, de-esser, reverbs, all of those are bundled with Reaper, and the program itself is free. So that's very good if you don't have, like, if you're just starting out and don't know like how to handle or where to buy good plugins, or don't have the money, because I honestly don't have the money to buy plugins of my own. So I'm actually very glad that Reaper has its own plugins that I can use that work quite well. So yeah, like this whole thing, I just recorded it with not the greatest acoustic guitar in the world, a free software, and like what would it be, like a $30 mic. Not too bad, not too bad. It's just a matter of having like an idea and knowing how you could try to make it come to fruition, you know? Okay, so, well, I think it's really all I have to say for now, at least for Violet. Which is cool, because the song is just about to end again. So, in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this little behind the scenes of one of the songs that will be in part of the soundtrack for the upcoming DDLC mod, Doki Doki Fallen Angel. I hope to see you guys looking around on the Discord channel. To me, we're kind of a fun community, yeah. There's people that are quite obsessed with chicken tenders, and I still don't quite understand why. But I still love them. I still love every single one of them. Thanks again to Noah for trusting us, and me especially with like doing stuff for your mod. It's been really cool to work with you guys. One other thing, put the poll again. It was kind of a close call between A Little Devil and Violet, because Violet got 9 votes and A Little Devil got 8. So, barring my incompetence at the time of speaking and trying to explain what I did, if you guys would like to see more of these things, please let me know, because I would be more than happy to explain A Little Devil, and after the mod is out, I would be more than happy to just talk about all of the work that I've done. So remember, just to if you want to hear the other tracks that I've done that I have been released, because we haven't released all of them out into the wild just yet. There's some videos on my channel. There's a playlist with like 4 songs. a remix we did for Play With Me from the original soundtrack. Violet, A Little Devil, and Fade Away. I think those are the ones that are out. And there's also a little bit of a teaser that I dropped like a month ago, with snippets of some of the new tracks, of the upcoming tracks that I've been working on for the mod. I think that's all I needed to. I think that's all I have to say for now. So thank you if you stood all the way through the through my rambling. I hope this was interesting. I hope that this was informative. I hope you guys liked the song. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all guys later. Testing. Audio. Sending you all of the audio from my home. Oh yeah. Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clapping of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.